Hey, how's it going? Been a huge last couple of days. The skip dumpster is now nearly full. I fashioned this cool chute out of an old door and a couple of 2x4s that I salvaged out of somewhere. So that's full. It's a pile of like paint flakes. I still have to do this ceiling in here, but this is the ground floor kitchen. So I've pulling out the cabinets. It's just an absolute mess. It's shocking. But I've taken almost the entire ceiling down, which I need to bring down all this lath as well, but that's easier to dispose of. So I'm focusing on the heavier materials like drywall or gyprock and plaster, because that's the stuff that's just really annoying to have hanging around. It's heavy, it's dusty, it's gross, whereas a nice pile of lath, oh, this is probably going to be too dark. Got a lovely, yeah, it's too dark. Just there is a lovely pile of lath from in here, which is the first one I did. So this is the living room. This is the ground floor living room with the lovely bay window at the end. And then up here is the ceiling, which was 3 layers of ceiling basically. It was like drywall, and then there was plaster, and then I think there was more drywall. It was like there's at least 3 ceilings up there. Weighed a ton. But it came down really nicely. It was fixed with nails, which are easy to pull. And yeah, once you started unpicking it, came down good. I've removed the lath from this central section so that you can see this, which is the beam, supporting that wall upstairs, which is where we're where it's sagging a fair bit. This room is 15 feet long. So from that back wall there, you can see the beam runs all the way through to here at the front of the room. That's 15 feet, which is a really long way for 3 2x8s. I think they're only 2x8s, strapped up to hold an entire like wall and its portion of the roof, which is considerable. So that's sagging. The central member, it's a sandwich of 3. The one in the middle has got some huge stress cracks, and I think it's probably pretty fractured. You can see there, that is a crack. You can see this, the diagonal, that's a crack. So it's cracking up, man. It's giving way, and then next to it you can see this joist here. It's rolling over. It's being squashed so hard that it's got nowhere to go except to start tipping sideways, which is hardcore. Can't say I've seen that before. I've heard about it, but yeah, this is educational. So I think the plan here is to get that column installed downstairs. I've dug the footing. I need to buy some rebar and just do it. I mean, I've discussed it with a fair few people. I think I've got a pretty solid game plan. So do that, then build that column. I need to shore up that part of the basement beam. Then I'll have a firm point in this room to jack from to push that collection of wood up into a more level position. And it's what happens next that I'm still trying to decide. I could just strap more 2x8s to it, which will stiffen it up, but I'm not sure how much longer that would buy me. Or I could get the equivalent LVL that long, get 2 of them. And LVLs are way more expensive, but they're also insanely strong. We've discussed LVLs before. They're basically plywood, so they're multi-strand, but there's heaps of layers, and because of the different orientation of all the strands, they combine to be immensely stiff in that plane, in the flat plane. So one of those each side. You can get really long ones as well because they're manufactured. You don't have to rely on a tree having beautiful straight grain for like 16 feet or whatever the board length you need. It's manufactured, so they can make them up to 24, like 30 feet long. They're awesome. So I just get a 16 footer, chop it down, and pocket it into the wall up here. Sorry for the spinnies. Pocket it into the wall up here. Yep. And then boop, boop, do the same thing at the other end of the room. Here. I still need to expose the wall above this window. There must be some kind of like big window head going on there because that window seems to be doing okay considering it's got a beam landing like right over it. So it's huge. Massive amount of demo in the last few days. Shadrick, my new bricklaying friend, he did a bunch of brickwork like an absolute star. Shout out Chadrick. Words don't express the gratitude. It's pretty good. You can see, it's hard to tell. See, this is all ground out. This is all ground out, ready to be repointed. And then this is what he did. Down here, it's all like freshly pointed, super strong. So it's gonna be nuts. These wing walls we're gonna take down. He also did this. So just firming everything up. Makes a huge difference aesthetically as well. So he's got a little bit to go before he finishes that section. And then we'll be looking nice. It's way down the priority list doing kind of aesthetic things like that. I mean, it also serves the purpose, and the primary purpose of mortar and repointing is to make the wall last longer. The fact that it looks neater is kind of a byproduct. That's not the driving factor. But these walls break down on a really long time scale, and I didn't need to get it done this soon. But I think just having a real statement of I call it like a statement of care out the front, so that someone looking at the building can see, they've repointed this brickwork. This person's serious about bringing this building back up to speed. Hopefully, I don't know. I think it's just nicer. It's a nice kind of threshold thing, point of pride as you kind of enter the building, even though the rest of it looks like this, like an absolute war zone. How cool. I just love this arrangement. Oh, sorry. These colors, this chimney, this kitchen recess. It's wild. Somebody had some sick color ideas. Just through all the layers, these kind of turquoises and oranges. It's pretty sweet. I like it down here. Plans have been slowly evolving because this unit that I'm in at the moment is not going to be where I'll live. I'm going to live upstairs. Down here, I was thinking originally rent the whole thing out and it can be someone's living here. Ideally someone that I know, and that's still on the cards. I'm also liking the idea of having a guest house, but not on Airbnb. I don't want to mess with any platforms. I don't want to be like a freaking gig hotel for a massive capitalist enterprise. I'm thinking old school guest house and just word of mouth. Slowly get word of mouth out there. Bring this up to speed. Combination guest house and artist studios. But, it's going to evolve, and I can only just hang on and hope that I survive the ride. Yeah, huge amount of work. I've got this dumpster until fucking it's 10 days from Monday. So what's that? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got it till Wednesday. It's Friday today. So I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to fill it to the bloody brim. And there'll still be, I'm realising now how much more there will be. I'm not going to be able to do all of the demo that I need to do. But I'm going to do all of the demo upstairs that I need to do. And I'm going to do all of the demo down here that I need to do that affects upstairs. And the reason I'm doing these ceilings is because I'm going to put in, the plan anyway, is I'm hoping to put in radiant floor heating. So that's where you run water pipes through all of the joist bays in loops. Like it's just one big loop, but it kind of like zigzags back and forth through the joist bays, and then you pin it to the underside of the floor above, which will be under my feet upstairs, with these aluminium plates which spread the heat and soak that floor with heat. So you basically have a tankless hot water heater, like an instant hot water heater, and a pump, and the pump circulates the water through the water pipes that are in the floor and then returns it to the water heater to reheat. And all of that energy dissipates into the floor as it like goes through the circuit, comes back less hot, gets reheated, goes back, and then it keeps doing that until a thermostat or some other control device says, okay, you can stop now. And then it stops, and then you've got a lovely warm floor which is radiating heat up into the room. You just end up with this lovely atmosphere. At Alex's place, she wanted to do that, but her floors were less conducive to it because there was just like a preponderance of shit stuck to them and water pipes and all sorts of stuff, which just would have been way more trouble than it was worth. But she did the next best thing, which is putting in radiators, like old school ones that usually have steam pumped through them, but she went the hydronic hot water route, and it's lovely. You don't have like this dry air kind of pumping into a space. You just have this like mass just like kind of radiating. It's lovely. And it's just insanely efficient as well. Instead of heating the air and then waiting for the air to heat the fabric of your room, like the floor and the walls and all of that, you're actually directly heating the most important part of the room where you want heat to be coming from, which is the floor. And so it's just all going into there, and even if your house is a little bit leaky, you're not like relying on it to hold on to air, which is going to heat the space. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's part of my part of the compliance requirements for this place. And I think we've discussed this before. I need to be compliant before I can buy the empty lots next door. In order to achieve compliance with the Detroit Land Bank, which is who I bought this house off, I have to demonstrate that I have hot water, electricity connected, gas connection if I'm using gas to cook or heat water, basically all my utilities. I need to have a working kitchen, which can be just a sink and then a hot plate, like one of those portable hot plates, or even just a camp stove, I'm pretty sure would swing it. And a working bathroom, which has to have a flushing toilet and a sink. And they didn't mention shower, but you'd want to have a shower or a bath or something as well. And then I think you have to have like a living space and somewhere that you can show that you can sleep. It's like safe to sleep. And then you're compliant, so you can be kind of semi-squatting in your house as long as it has utilities connected and you can flush shits and have a wash and cook a meal. They're sweet. So the rush is on to get that all kind of zipped up, buttoned away. And that brings me to the reason I'm cutting down these ceilings is because in order to put in that radiant floor heating, I need to gut all of these ceilings through here. I have to do the ones in the bedrooms as well if I want to heat the bedrooms overhead. But I don't think I'm going to do that yet. It's a system you can put together like a piece at a time. So these living areas I think will be on 1 or 2, maybe even 3 separate loops. Then I can put in the bedrooms, and then yeah, but that doesn't have to happen for ages. I need to just get my butt in here so I can buy the lovely land next door and plant a bunch of like awesome trees, have a food forest in the middle of Detroit, which is really a lovely place. And summer is going to be joy. Still very security conscious. There's a lot of activity in this street. It's a very active street. Yesterday we were here. I was here with Shadrach. I was demolishing that ceiling, and he was doing all that brickwork out front. And as the day kind of wore on, turned into evening, sun was still up because it doesn't get dark till like 9:30 here now in summer. Yeah, there was just like heaps of folks in the house a few doors down, coming and going. There was this beautiful blue car. I don't know what it was. Some kind of 80s muscle car. It was just like doing burnouts all around the neighborhood. You could hear it off in the distance. Then it would come down the street, stop and like talk to the dudes. It was nuts. It was lit, as they say. And yeah, there's a lot of hooping and hollering. I'm gonna have like prime view of all of it from here. I'm very exposed. This is a very conspicuous house. I'm about to make it even more conspicuous by like treating it real nice and bringing it up to speed. Not sure if it's worth keeping it looking a little shitty for a while. I don't know. I hear about people kind of being made targets. So I'm very security conscious, and I'm not going to fucking flaunt things and like put good gaudy tile everywhere, but it's going to be nice in here. Probably the goal is to have it way nicer inside than it is outside. Yeah, and we're on track. It's going to be a hardcore summer, but already in like the last few days, I mean, this job, my God, mental. Taking the rest of that lath down, that's a good few hours as well, doing that. But once that's done, boom, whatever. And then once I'm ready to like zip this back up, I'd be able to get the ceiling done in a day. Just like putting new ceiling drywall up. And then, yeah, or even just pay someone to do it. I mean, the cool thing about paying ceiling people is that they have, they've got the system set. Like they know exactly how to quote a job properly. They know all of the stuff to get. They can get materials that you as a consumer can't get sometimes, like really long sheets. A sheet of drywall is usually 8 feet by 4 feet, but they sometimes get like 16 foot lengths of drywall, and they've got a team and they know how to handle that stuff, and it just goes up in no time. Like a quality drywall team could probably do this ceiling in like half a day in the morning. They'd show up in the morning and be gone by lunchtime. It'd be all sealed up, ready to paint. Yeah, just really cool. So not sure whether we'll do it ourselves or get help, and that'll be the story just forever on this house, on this building, I should say. I want to do as much as I can myself, but there's going to be some stuff that just doesn't make sense to do yourself when you can get like a way better result just by paying someone a few bucks. A lot of these trades aren't too expensive. Pretty competitive market here as well. So yeah, just let's have one more look. Oh yeah, let's have a look in these other rooms. Just going to show you this bathroom again. Now that it's daytime. Isn't that wild? Ooh. And then this room here. Pretty funny. Okay. Oof. It's hitting me. I got to get back to work before I before I collapse, I've got to squeeze out. I'll just do the rest of this kitchen ceiling, and then I'll probably go home and grab some lunch, and then come back again later. I think I'm going to tackle this living room ceiling next. I think I might try and get that done today, and then I'll have the ceilings down here done, and I'm kind of sweeping up as I'm going. When I did in that far room, the front living room, I was just smashing, letting the pile get bigger underneath me, and it just ends up being a real pain in the ass moving this giant pile of what is ostensibly concrete. Old school plaster ceilings are basically cement, so it's heavy as fuck, and once it gets into a bit of a pile, it's a really awkward thing to sweep around because the bristles of a brush don't grab it, and then it's very belligerent. But if you just keep hauling it into the bin as you go, never letting the pile get too big, then yeah, it's easy days. Oh my god, 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll do it all again to you soon. Bye.